An Uber driver was on his route when a group of thugs suddenly attacked, smashing his windows. They reached inside, even hitting the passenger to instill fear. Terrified, both the driver and passenger complied, handing over all their valuables. Even after taking all the valuables, the thugs continued harassing them before finally running away. How safe can anyone really feel when danger can strike so suddenly? An Uber driver had just arrived to pick up a few teenagers. As soon as they got into the car, one of them pulled out a knife. Terrified but trying to stay calm, the driver told them to take whatever they wanted. But the teenager continued threatening him, insisting he would stab him. The teenagers kept insisting that the driver hand over everything, even things he was hiding. Then, the friends of the teenager with the knife came and tried to open the driver's door, searching for anything they could take. When they realized there was nothing left, the others left, but the one holding the knife refused to back down. It was as if he felt in charge, like his knife was thirsting for blood. The teenagers eventually left, realizing there was nothing more to take. But before walking away, the one holding the knife extended a handshake to the Uber driver, smirking as he said, "Nice doing business with you." An Uber driver got into an argument with the passengers who had entered his car. Suddenly, an armed man appeared out of nowhere and opened the driver's door, demanding all his valuables. Terrified, the driver handed over his phone. The passengers, panicked by the chaos, quickly ran away. The thugs continued searching, demanding any valuables the driver might be hiding. At first, they seemed satisfied, as if nothing had happened, but then they came back and began searching him again. Terrified, the driver complied. Can anyone truly feel safe anymore? An Uber driver had just arrived at a parking lot to drop off a passenger when, before he could react, an armed man emerged from an unknown vehicle and charged at him. The man was armed to the teeth. The Uber driver was terrified and, realizing he couldn't defend himself, complied. The armed men then began searching his car for valuables, even going so far as to open the trunk. After what felt like an eternity, they finally told him to get out of the car. Shaken to his core, he obeyed without hesitation. In a moment like that, when your life is on the line, what would you have done? An Uber driver had just picked up two men for his evening trips. Before they could go anywhere, the man in the back suddenly grabbed him by the neck. Shocked and terrified, the driver started screaming. The man then began robbing him, taking whatever he could. The man tore through the driver's belongings, snatching his wallet, watch, and phone in a matter of seconds. The Uber driver's heart pounded in his chest as fear took over, but the nightmare wasn't over. The thug's accomplices suddenly swung open the car door and began firing questions at him, demanding his phone password, PIN numbers, and every piece of personal information they could extract. Every demand felt like a knife twisting in his chest. Frozen with terror, the driver realized he had no way to defend himself, completely at the mercy of these ruthless criminals. A man was driving two criminals to their destination, one sitting in the front and the other in the back. The ride seemed normal at first, with casual conversation filling the car, but tension hung in the air like a storm about to break. Suddenly, without warning, the man in the front lunged forward with a knife, aiming to stab the driver. Heart racing, the driver felt the cold blade scrape past him, narrowly missing its mark. Panic surged through his veins. Without thinking, he slammed on the brakes, flung open the car door, and bolted into the night. Adrenaline carried him away from the vehicle as the two criminals could only watch helplessly. Against all odds, he escaped, his heart pounding and mind racing from the close brush with danger.